it's always daunting upon arrival here, because sometimes we come in prepared knowing what we're going to do this summer, so we have ample time to get that prepared. However, sometimes when we get here, they listen to us again and sometimes offer us something else to sing, or offer us another role, or tell us that we're doing the chorus for this many shows instead of just one we thought we were doing. So as prepared as you can be coming in, there's always a little extra coming at you on arrival. So you come here already just kind of a little on edge, knowing, who's here, how am I going to do, am I prepared enough on my roles, and then they give you more, and it's just, then everyone becomes on the same level of just, oh, now I have to work even harder now.
No, I've been preparing Manon for a while. I would say at least a couple of months before I came here, just because it's such a large role, and it really required a lot of attention. Just in terms of vocal and dramatic preparation, the background work, and then plus it's a 5-act opera in French, so it required a lot of language work too. So no, I spent a long time. I would say I spent maybe altogether probably about 20 hours in the library just translating the opera and writing in different pronunciations and with the libretto underneath. Just on the text alone.
So I'm kind of used to the schedule because I'm assistant conductor at Sarasota Opera, so the schedule there is very intense as well, but it's stunningly beautiful here. I love being in the mountains, and yeah, it's beautiful.
It's personalized attention that the singers get when they come here. And our goal here is to try and improve the skills and the talents, bring out the talents that are already within the singers who do come here. And my approach to it is the same approach as my old maestro Van Grove. And it's a very stressful, it's a very intense experience for not only staff and the singers, but I think it translates into something that the audience might not really understand what it is that they really are seeing, but they realize that something's going on here that is really unique among all the opera summer programs in the United States.
Pretty much the second day we started, there was rehearsals. Going into rehearsals, doing musical things. We were presented with the concepts for all of the different shows, and by about the end of the week, we started staging. I mean, it was just like that. We were in and going.
What I do enjoy about working on 2 shows at once is it keeps me from getting in my head too much about one show, and also one is a comedy and one is a tragedy, so that helps me out a lot, because if I feel like my tragedy's gotten a little too unnecessarily heavy, then I look back to the comedy and see where we can make it a little lighter. I love it. I think for me it works really well. I enjoy doing it that way. And the different composers, they all, no matter what, working with different composers, they always feed off of each other, because every composer always borrows from each other, whether they know it or not. And so working with Benjamin Britten is a 20th century opera, and Manon, which is written in late 1800s, you can always hear influences, whether they know it, they're doing it or not. But yeah, I love doing it.
It really is kind of a make or break here. I mean, you pretty much live opera here. And if you are just like, oh, I like opera, but I don't know if I want to do it for my career, or you're not sure, and you get here, you pretty much weed it out real quick. It's kind of like they throw you in, and it's a sink or float sort of thing. And if you aren't ready, you're going to sink real fast.
There have been cases where a singer can be instantly transformed from what they were like half asleep to quote an author, in the dawning of their knowledge, and suddenly something happens, and there is an awakening of this aesthetic experience, like James Joyce would talk about. And so there is suddenly they see the connection between the rhythm of a of the pieces to themselves. For instance, everything in the opera can be broken down into different pieces, and you start to see the relationship between this piece and this other piece, and then suddenly you look at the whole thing, and then suddenly there is an awareness. Oh my God! So that's what this is all about. And that's a very important aspect. Even singers who don't, the great majority of singers here will come and they will not make a career. But they may become teachers, and they need to know there was a place and I learned something there that I can pass on. So you're always passing on something. For instance, Van Grove's maestro, his mentor, was a man by the name of Campanini, who conducted the world premiere of Madame Butterfly. And there are things that Campanini told Van Grove that Van Grove told me about Butterfly that are not in books, and you don't hear them on recording, but because you get something orally, there's something is transmuted from mouth to mouth, and so the oral tradition is something that the one-on-one relationship that happens here is something that just suddenly just keeps spreading and spreading and spreading.